What's going on, guys? This is Malcolm. Here on Malcolm Talks. You know how we do it. Back at it again. Hey, man, I want to talk about Harvard, bro. I want to talk about Harvard. Because if you're black, you know about Harvard. Well, you know about Harvard no matter who you are. But Harvard has had some type of research paper or something that came out. I think it was yesterday, where they pretty much admitted that there has been a long-standing history of Harvard and slavery. And I was like, good job, Harvard. Harvard, stepping up to the plate, man. They put out some information saying, going way back to our founding, back in 1636, I think it was. When you go way back, I'm talking about way hundreds of years ago, when you start looking back, you look at the documentation and the records, and they had researchers and people who care, people who were like, look, man, we need to tell the truth about what's happening. Harvard did this. They said, man, we're going to do an entire research paper about it. I think the research paper is like 130 pages long, and I want to read all of it, but I just read a couple articles online about it. Yeah, man, they had like 75 slaves, bro, like over the course of these years. Slaves were being used to clean up the grounds. Slaves were cooking for people. Slaves were doing all kind of stuff, man. All kind of things. They had 75. Can you imagine 75 slaves? It's just like having a few janitors that work on the property, except they ain't being paid. And they've been working there 30, 40 years, maybe longer. And then their kids work for Harvard. And then their kids work for Harvard. I'm sorry, not work. Slave for Harvard. But I appreciate Harvard doing this, man. Because they stepped up to the plate. And there's been a few other universities to do it too. I guess you can call it reparations, because they have said they're going to give $100 million to these different initiatives and things like that that will help African Americans, which is good. You know, I don't know all the details, but that's got to be a good thing, guys, because let's look at the facts. Harvard University was instrumental. They probably owe way more than $100 million, because Harvard University was instrumental in bringing together the minds of the quote unquote smartest people in America. And they were pushing out all of this race, science, eugenics information. Like basically trying to validate the fact, they were trying to make it a fact that, black people are biologically inferior. They were trying to put this out to the world, to people. And people were writing papers and books, and they were taking all kind of pictures and doing charts and doing taxonomy charts. And they had our head looking like this, turning sideways. Like if you look at the black head, you can see that the black brain is smaller. Therefore, he is not as intelligent as the white man. But if you look at the Indian and the Asian man, they too are, it's like, bro. And now that we look at what's really going on, you find out that all of that was just garbage. It's not even real. None of it's even real, guys. So this whole conversation about race isn't even real. And I want you to really hear me out on this. We love to separate things by black and white. We do. We love it. The thing about it, that is a social construct. Black, white. Look at me. Am I black? Yeah, I'm black. But I wish I had a piece of construction paper so I could hold it up and show you what black really looks like. I'm brown. I'm a mixture between brown and maybe taupe. I don't know. We think that, it was something that was created. And I digress. I know I'm going all over the place with it, but let's go back to Harvard. See, Harvard, they were putting out information and people were running with it because they held Harvard in such high esteem, guys. So Harvard actually contributed to a lot of the racial ideology that was being perpetuated around the world about black people. And they owned 75 slaves. But like I said, they're gonna give $100 million, which is good. But I'm pretty sure they're not letting go of that money so easily, because the way they set it up, I think they need to build an entire infrastructure in order to even be able to utilize that money the right way. It's not like they just giving black kids checks. It doesn't work that way. But I think this does open up the discussion for reparations. This is a form, in my opinion, of reparations. Guys, just look at what's happening, man. Like, a guy like me, devilishly handsome, intelligent. I'm on YouTube doing my thing. I do it for fun. I don't do it to get paid, okay? But, you can tell I'm a well put together guy. I come from a good family. I got great friends, great family. I got a wife and kid. I'm living the American dream, guys. I'm educated. I got my college degree. I went out and got my master's degree. My whole point is telling you all this is, what would my counterpart be if my ancestors were not slaves? Like, who would I be if my ancestors weren't slaves? Because my ancestors were slaves. My ancestors were slaves, guys. Like, my dad, my mom, we all born and raised in the South. Once you start going back to granddaddies and great-granddaddies and great-great-granddaddy, like, sharecroppers. Mammies. Here we go again. Was I in the house? Was I in the field? Who knows, bro? We were definitely slaves, though, at some point in time. Where's the money? Where is it? And I don't mean where's the money for me or my family or reparations or anything. I'm talking about, because remember, we're talking about my counterpart, like my white counterpart, somebody who was raised like everything the exact same as me. I think one of the only differences is their grandparents or great-grandparents, there's a chance that they may have owned slaves and they may have had wealth that they were able to pass down based on the hard work of others. So what happens is that money keeps passing down. See, these are the types of things that everybody's not going to share with you. My grandparents gave us $100,000 to buy our first house. People are not going to share that type of information with you. We were struggling during the pandemic. We were struggling a little bit, so our parents gave us an extra $2,000 a month for a couple of years. Nobody's going to tell you that, guys. We were able to go to this prestigious university because, both of our parents went there, and, I was able to get off on this charge because one of my parents' best friends is a judge, and they both grew up together. Like, all of these things have roots that grow into a branch that has leaves and fruit. So once again, man, I just want to go back and congratulate Harvard. And I'm not sure the guy's name who even started this whole conversation, because I think this is the spawning of a conversation that started back in like 2011. Like, wait a minute, y'all own slaves. Let's talk about this now. And I guess they tried to keep it under wraps, but I like the way they came out with it. They did it in such a way that it didn't trickle out. Information is not trickling out. What they've done is created almost like an expose. Like, they've created a paper, like 130-page book damn near, explaining all of their wrongs, explaining everything that happened. Like, hey, before y'all hear from somebody else, we're going to tell you exactly what happened and how it all went down and the full history of it. You got to respect that type of transparency. And so, obviously, the next thing is, well, Harvard's been around since 1636. I don't even want to know what their endowment is. I don't even want to know how much bread they have in their coffers. They have billions and billions and billions of dollars. So my next question is, well, How many other universities are as old as Harvard? How many? How many other universities are as old and as prestigious and have also owned slaves? How many other old universities are also receiving money annually from families of slave owners? Because let me tell you something. All of that money, man. It's so easy to make money when you don't have to pay your employees. Oh my God. Do you know how much money you can make if you didn't have to pay your employees? Human resources is the biggest expense. So it's just something to think about. I definitely want to stay on top of this story because I want to see who else is going to have the testicular fortitude to be able to come forward like Harvard. I don't know if they issued like an apology or anything. Like, hey guys, we sorry that we had to do that to you and your families. But I think it's a good start. This is Malcolm. That's all I got for today, man. I know I was going all over the place, but go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hope you learned something. Research it yourself, man. Just Google it. It's all in the news. Subscribe, comment, like the video. Peace. I'm gonna holler at you guys next time.